First of all, we're very sceptical with regards to the programme for government. The programme for government is very wishy-washy, it's very little detail within it, and a big aspect that's missing from it, in our view, is the aspect of finance. When we were in negotiation with Fianna Fáil initially, it was very clear to us that they would not nail down the financial issues that would be able to pay for the aspects of the next government whatsoever. And that meant to us that we would have to write a blank cheque. We would have to put our faith in Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael that they would be able to pay for housing and healthcare and education and infrastructure. And to be honest, we weren't willing to sign a blank cheque. It seems to me that this programme for government is written on a blank cheque.
Would it not have been in Aontú's interest to join government and exercise some influence on the country, given the fact that Aontú is a newly fledged party and is trying to find its feet? And maybe you had an opportunity there to do much more good in government rather than be in opposition?
I agree 100% that we had a responsibility to see could we get our objectives into a future programme for government. We wrote a very detailed 5-page document. We sat down for hours with Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael to tease out, to test whether or not they were willing to actually put our key values and objectives into a future programme for government. It became very clear to us that they had no interest. There was no appetite within Fianna Fáil or Fine Gael to do that. So therefore, it would be wrong for us to take the mandate, the 50,000 people who voted for Aontú at the last general election, and then to squander it in a coalition that actually represented none of our particular values. And that's the reason why we didn't go into government. We will be very sceptical of the ability of this government to function into the future, because it's not underpinned with regards the necessary finances to achieve justice with regards housing, healthcare, transport infrastructure, which is a big issue, or education.
Are you glad that there's probably not going to be another election though?
Well, I'll be honest with you, in our view, another election would actually be a better result than this particular government. To see Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael in government for another 5 years is not going to be a good thing for Ireland. It's not going to be a good thing for regional Ireland, for rural Ireland. You know, I have no doubts that with all the fancy documents that they produce, with all of the articulation on housing and healthcare, etc., if you don't show where the money's coming from, you cannot prove to me that it's going to happen. So I have no confidence that's going to happen under this government.
So which coalition would have been your preference in an ideal world?
Well, to be honest, you know, we would speak to a number of different political parties. At this moment in time, our focus is on building Aontú throughout the country, throughout the 32 counties. There will be a Stormont election in 20 months in the north of Ireland, and we're preparing for that. We're already selecting candidates for the next general election here in the south. We're building strong grassroots coming across the country, and we have no doubt that many people from a Fianna Fáil background who have been reluctant to change or move over the last number of years, for this will be their final straw, and these people will come on board.